Hi and welcome to Dreaming of the Outdoors. What I'm going to show you in this video is what I carry in my rucksack, and this is what I would carry whether it's for a one day 5, 6, 7, 8 miles up to 10, 12 miles for one day and then back home to sleep. It's also what I carry for at least a 24-hour overnighter in the field and camping as well. So I've got a sleeping bag, tent, etc in here, as well as 24 hours worth of food. Hi, I'm Andrew Miller. I'm the principal coach for Dreaming of the Outdoors, and this is what I carry when you come onto one of my coaching sessions, whether it be walking or camping or wild camping. And I just want to show you what I include when I go for a walk, basically. So what I'm going to do is work from the outside, go to the top, then have a look at the inside. So first off, this is an Osprey Exhaust 48 litres. The company Osprey makes excellent rucksacks. So do Berghaus, Van Gogh, DOTOD. There's loads of other makes. I chose this one because it's fairly lightweight, and the lighter the rucksack, the lighter my overall load will be. I also like the fact that this front pocket here is stretchy, so I can really shove a whole load of things down in there as well. And a few other bits and pieces. It has two pockets on the outside. Just lift that up. So two pockets on the outside, one big pocket on the front, big stretchy pocket, not so much stretch on the outside. So on the outside of these pockets we have some tensioners. I'm just going to undo both sides. And in one pocket I have a really important piece of camping kit, and that's a spoon, or in this case a fork. I always carry an extra spork. So one is titanium, one is just a plastic spork. And then the other important piece is a windshield. So this would go over the cooking system that I have to keep it from the wind. That makes sure that the gas doesn't blow out, it makes sure that the water will boil a bit quicker, and it saves on gas. Now the reason why my sporks are in with this is that I keep them sharp side downwards against the metal so that they don't stick into anything and puncture any bags, that kind of thing. So that's the first thing I keep in there. Next thing I have is a Platypus 1 litre collapsible water bottle. I have two of these, there's one on the other side as well. They have sports caps, and I can also take the main lid off. The reason I use these is because I use a water filter system called a Sawyer Mini. I also have one called a Sawyer Micro, and that thread is the same size as this. So that means I don't need to carry extra bottles, different thread sizes. So it's just a time saver and a weight saver really. So always have 2 litres of water with me. And in the next pouch, I won't turn the rucksack round, another 1 litre bottle of water. Looking at the top pocket here, it has a buckle. Let me just take that out. And I carry a couple of things that I really need fairly quickly in here. So the first off is a bright orange trowel. The trowel is when you're out, you get caught short and you need a number 2. We don't just dig a couple of centimetres, a couple of inches to do one of those. We dig down at least 8 inches. Now, I will be doing another video showing how to do this and how to do a number 2 in the field, in the woods. This is an absolutely vital tool. It makes sure that your feces are not going to go into the water supply and then contaminate animals, etc., and ultimately the human food chain. It's also about leaving no trace, which is something that I adhere to very, very strongly. The next thing I've got in here is toilet paper and hand sanitizer. So they all go together. Toilet paper, just a quick note, and again, when I do the full video on this, we'll go into it. We either burn it, we either bag it and take it with us and then burn it at a campfire, or we bag it and carry it out with us. We don't tend to bury it. You can get biodegradable toilet paper. In that case, we can bury it 6 to 8 inches at least. So, very important aspect of going walking. Next thing I've got is that water filter that I was talking about. This Sawyer Squeeze water filtration system. So as I said, that thread is exactly the same size as the thread on my Platypus water bottles. This is the filter itself. Water goes in one end, dirty water goes in one end, comes out clean at the other. So, dirty water in there, and I fill this up. screws on, squeeze it down, clean water comes out, and I can drink straight from this. I don't need to boil it, I don't need to put any Puritabs in. So it's a great way of keeping the overall load and weight down. So, what's next? Yep, a small but very comprehensive first aid kit. This is a little bit bigger than I would normally need for myself when I'm out for a day, 24 hours perhaps. I also carry a couple of other larger pieces of first aid kit. I've always sort of been of the mentality that when I'm out walking, I want to be able to help other people who perhaps are not as prepared as I am. Blister kit, diarrhea, vomiting, I can all handle through this. Simple breaks, burns, bleeds, that kind of thing. I don't expect my coachees, when they're coming on my walking sessions or camping sessions, to carry something this big. Just some elastoplast, possibly blister kit, that's it, because I carry all of it. So along with this, I also have two other items that I will talk about when I get to them. So that's the outside of the rucksack. Coming around to the top pocket, what I'm going to do is detach this top pocket to make it a little bit easier to show you. So the top pocket detaches. It's absolutely fantastic because it is still a nice rucksack size. This just means I can carry a bit more. So first off, you may have noticed this glow-in-the-dark green tag. It's so that I can find the rucksack in the dark. All of my walking kit, my rucksacks, etc., will have these on. So it makes it easier to find the piece of kit that I'm looking for in the dark. With a torch, it really shines brightly, and it shines brightly without a torch. And I also attach them to waterproofs and outdoor clothing as well. So when it gets towards dusk, it gets towards dark, and we're still walking, it's a little bit safer to find each other. So open that up. First things first, I think this is a still sealed 3-pack of face masks, COVID. Coming down, this is part of my hygiene pack. This is wet wipes. So if I'm staying out for 24 hours, a little bit more, rather than sort of having to think about boiling water, getting a big bowl, doing all that kind of thing, a couple of wet wipes in the important areas, pits, bits, that kind of stuff. These are good. I also have what I sort of call a bit of emergency rations or high energy. Food, which is, in my case, snacks, which is fruit and nuts. If you are coming on one of my coaching sessions, whether it's a day's walk, 24 hours, etc., and you are allergic to nuts, or in fact allergic to anything, you will be sent a checklist so that I know whether or not I would take these. If you were allergic to nuts, I would choose something else to make sure that you are completely safe. And we all have a little bit of a sweet tooth, so these are a very battered packet of Stardust. It's just to get a little bit of extra flavour in. I have a little piece of safety equipment that sort of goes along with my first aid. This is an Amaze Fan bivvy bag. It's one of those reflective bivvy bags. I'm not going to take it out and show you because it's a bit of a pain. But it's bright red, silver on the inside, and it will reflect the heat. Another thing that I carry, this is what's known as an Israeli compress bandage. It will soak up vast amounts of blood and be able to tie a compression pads around whichever part of a major limb in the event of a major casualty. Never ever had to use these as a civilian, but they are just in case. Finally, something that's really important to me as a Yorkshireman and an ex-soldier, a squaddie, is a cook kit or a brew kit. I have, where are we going to stay there? You will. A bag of tea bags. I love my tea. If we're going to stop, we're going to be there for 10 minutes having a stop. I'm getting a kettle on, getting a brew on, and that's all it takes. It takes 5 minutes to boil it, 5 minutes to drink it, but you feel so much more refreshed, no matter what the weather is like. Next up is a titanium cook set. Titanium, extremely strong metal, extremely light. It has a lid, so I can keep the heat in, boils quicker. Inside, I've got a few coffees in case I need extra bit of caffeine. Inside that, I have a bit lighter. I have an MSR Pocket Rocket 2 stove, stand for the gas canister, and a gas canister, and that all fits together. As I said, on the top, this will easily boil a litre of water, or boil at least 2 cups of water in here within about 3 to 4 minutes. Turning it over, we have a little zip compartment. So first off, I've got a little bit of map reading kit. This is Aroma. It allows me to take back bearings really easily. It's got some grids, etc., so that I can work out grid references. So 4, 6, perhaps 8, 10 figure grid references using that. I'll come back to this in a moment. I always go out with a map and a compass, and I will show you where I keep my map, and a safety whistle. You will get a whistle when you come out walking with me. It will go around your neck. You will not take it off for the duration of the walk. And you will get a briefing on how to use the whistle and when to use it and how many signals, that kind of thing. It's a big safety indicator. I have a really, really small micro torch. Again, if you're walking in foggy, misty, cloudy conditions, having a fantastic beam on your torch is pointless, because the light just reflects back and you can't see anything, so the smaller light. It's also got a red light. There we go. I sometimes just prefer using a red light at night when I'm reading the map. Let's not go into contour lines and whether you can see them or not. Completely different discussion. If I'm out walking with people, I will carry a bigger head torch. You will also have a head torch from me if we're going out. So if it's going to get dark or we're going to stay overnight, you will have a torch as part of your safety kit from me. Let's have a look. What else have we got? I've got masks everywhere, so that's another couple of masks in there. Ubiquitous dog poo bag. Always carry a little bit of cord. People talk about paracord a lot. I actually prefer to carry something called number 36 bank line. Next, it's what I call my bit bag. So my bits and pieces, my odds and sods. Again, in a dry bag. I've got stuff in a tin. Now, first off, I have a very small micro towel, and again, it's lightweight. I've got two of these. These are hand warmers. Obviously, put inside your gloves or hold them to keep your hands warm. You can also use them to chuck inside your sleeping bag, give yourself a bit of a hot water bottle. If I need a bit of a bigger wash, and I can do that, I have some, what are these? These are Sea to Summit Wilderness Pocket Soap. They're really, really wafer thin soap flakes, basically. And lastly, it's a Victorian ox pen knife. That's the only sort of knife that I would actually carry. In my tin, it isn't a survival tin if that's what you're thinking. Well, I suppose it is for me. I listen to audiobooks a lot, so this actually carries my headphones. A little bit of super glue. It's got toothpaste. It's got toothbrush. Bit of a tart when it comes to my nail soap, nail file. Also a bit of a tart when it comes to keeping my ears clean. Earbuds. You can't really beat chewing gum just to help keep your breath that little bit fresher. And the last thing is a little tiny shaving mirror. There we go. So yes, potentially I could use it as signalling, but to be perfectly honest, I just want to use it to see how gorgeous looking I am. Joking. I use it for a number of things as well. So potentially if I do need to shave, I know what I've missed, that kind of stuff. Last thing is this pouch, and that has my electronic GPS. So as well as my mobile phone having a mapping application on, this also has an OSGB grid system as well. So there are always two electronic versions of mapping. Mobile phones will die, batteries will run out. Every time I go for a 24-hour plus walk, a new set of batteries go into this. So I'm going to put this away and then I'll be back. Right, looking at the inside, let me just undo the compression straps on either side. This isn't a rucksack review, so I'm not going to do anything like that. It has a strap there. This is my waterproof complete set. So it has a set of gaiters in there, it has a set of waterproof gloves, a set of waterproof trousers, and a waterproof jacket. The weather that we've been having recently in the UK, if you're in the UK, has been pretty horrendous. A RAB Alpine Kinetic waterproof coat. So I'm just going to open it up. Perfectly waterproof. It is not designed for absolutely torrential rain and hours of torrential rain. It's designed to be worn when it is really, really wet. Then it's going to dry, get a bit of wind on it, and it will dry off. What else have we got? We've got a pair of gaiters. These are made by Carrymore. I don't pay a fortune on these. They just keep my boots a little bit cleaner. If you come out walking with me, we're going to be walking in muddy conditions, I'll give you a pair of gaiters. Pair of waterproof gloves. Keeping your hands warm is really important. So these are sealskin waterproof gloves. Put them there. Berghaus waterproof trousers. You can tell by the names that I'm dropping that I'm not a tart, I'm not wedded to one particular brand. Look, if you're going to buy a pair of waterproof trousers, the trousers that will zip all the way as possible. It makes them getting on and off really easy when you've still got your trousers on, so you don't need to take your boots off, you can put your trousers over them. Next thing, 24 hours worth of food. So there's about 4,000 calories in this. More nuts. 3 boil in the bag meals, various options that you can have. So again, when you get in touch to come on one of my sessions, one of my coaching and camping walks, I'll send you a rough suggested menu that I can provide. There will be an added cost to that, but basically it's military or civilian boil in the bags, wide range of food options. I'll provide all of that. There will be an extra charge for it. They're really good for what they do. A lot of the stuff, to be honest, you can buy online. And if you want to have a look for yourself, I'll send you the links. If you want to provide food for yourself, i.e. you have a particular dietary requirement, you might be allergic to some foods, that kind of thing, I can provide you with the foil bags with some simple instructions on how to prepare your own meals, let it cool down, put it in the bag, seal the bag, so that when we're out walking, all we need to do is take that foil bag, put it in the pot, heat it up, and that's it. That there. Right, next thing, just going to lift this up for a little bit, open it out. I have a lot of stuff in another dry bag. Paranoid about getting things wet. In this time of the year, in this country, getting things wet means getting things cold. You get cold, it's dangerous. So what have we got in here? I have a very, very cheap down jacket. This comes from a company, I think this is Trespass. And considering what it is, it was really, really cheap. So fluff that up a bit. Certainly I'd wear this on an evening when we've set up camp just to hang around in. Massively important piece of safety kit, this. Plastic bag, dry bag again. This is the battery system, and I think it's a 10,000 amp battery. I'm not quite sure whether you'll be able to see it on the camera, but it's got an indicator there, 2 USB 3s, and I carry a couple of cables. One of these is an iPhone cable, one of these is sort of a USB-C cable, and that should cover most eventualities. Again, as part of that briefing pack that I will send you, I'll ask you what type of phone you use. You can either bring your own cable or I'll provide one for you. Nothing worse for me than running out of phone charge and I can't listen to one of my books. So what's in here next? Another dry bag. I'm not a tart again. I just buy the cheapest dry bags I can off Amazon. So I've got lots of different types and brands and sizes and colours. Hat, scarf and gloves. And I tend to write on the front what it is. So my down jacket had down jacket on, hat, scarf and gloves. That's all it is. It's a woolly hat. I normally wear a leather cowboy type hat. It keeps the rain off more than anything else. And wearing glasses, it keeps the rain off my glasses. The scarf is a fluffier version of one of these buffs. Just goes around your neck. And the gloves are just woolly gloves. Coming along a little bit more in there. This is my Gore-Tex bivy bag. Camouflage, I think this is the MTP camouflage pattern. Gore-Tex, it's about 8 foot long, 4 foot wide, loads and loads of space in there. And it will keep my sleeping bag dry and away from any rain that might get into the tent, any condensation. I use a different tent than you guys do when we're going out camping. I use a really lightweight tent, but that's a really good piece of kit to carry. If you get into walking and camping yourselves, you can get these now for about 30 odd quid, ex-military. Lighter versions are available. This is a little bit heavy. Lighter versions, you're looking at 60, 70, 80 quid plus. And I've seen, bivy bags going up to £200 or £300 that are really lightweight. What else have we got in here? A bit of an Aladdin's cave. We have a roll mat. This is a really lightweight roll mat and very small. And this is by Thermarest, and it's a Thermarest Neo X Lite. So very light, very, very warm. This has an R value of around about 4.2, which means it's winter conditions rated. I should be able to put this directly onto snow, sleeping bag on top of this, and I should be nice and toasty warm, depending on what the sleeping bag is. You will get an equivalent mat when you come out camping with me that's in the equivalent range, although it'll be a little bit bigger. It won't be that much heavier though. You do need a lot of puff to blow these up. Coming on, this is my tent, believe it or not. So it's in another dry bag. And the tent itself is in a bag. Now I'm just going to show you the colour because I think the colour is fabulous. So bright orange tent, and tent pegs are included there as well. I use a walking pole to set this up. If I'm out in the woods, I can get a stick of a suitable length to put this up. When I'm walking, I normally do tend to carry poles anyway. Really, really lightweight, single skinned, so therefore it is prone to a bit more condensation, hence the Gore-Tex bag that I use. You will have double skin tents that won't be as bad. Oh, what else have we got? We have a pillow. Oh God, pillows, absolutely vital. This is a yokel of Sweden, really cheap. It just blows up, and it's just sort of got a bit of a neck. You can cut into it, really good. Take the dry bag out there. Lastly, in the bag, almost inside the bag, is my sleeping bag. This is from a company called OEX, which is Go Outdoors, the outdoor shop's own brand, and I think this is a Helium 300 or a Helios 300 it is, and it goes down to -3. So by the time I've got my socks on, any clothes that I might wear, so the jacket, hat, that kind of thing, on the mat, in a tent, in a Gore-Tex bag, I'm going to be really nice and warm regardless of what the conditions are. I am not a wild winter camper. I'm not going to go to the Cairngorms with all of this, potentially get down to -5, -10 or below and keep the same kit. I'm just not that kind of extreme guy. Top of penny van, winter, this should all be fine. I might take a set of thermals with me, but I'd be fine doing that. Being a down bag, it needs time to sort of loft up to get its temperature. I use down because it's small and it's lightweight. Synthetic is okay when it gets damp. Down loses its warmth, hence I use a bivy bag as well. You will get a sleeping bag that is down. There is rated for around about the same. I think it's -4, 5 or 6. Mat that goes down to winter conditions rated 4, 4.2. So again, set of thermals, sleeping bag, mat, tent, hat, gloves on when you're sleeping, you'll be absolutely fine and warm. So even in conditions that we're having currently in the UK, you should still be fine. Part of having that free conversation is to try and get an idea of how cold or how warm you are as a sleeper. So for instance, I'm what's known as a cold sleeper. I feel the cold a lot more. Hence, I want a pair of socks and I want to make sure. Some people are a much warmer sleeper, therefore they may not need a set of thermals. The sleeping bag and underwear would be fine. You also get a sleeping bag liner as well, so I don't need to continue to wash the down bags. I can just wash the sleeping bag liner. If you're a really, really cold sleeper, I can provide thermal liners that will add 5 to 10 degrees to the sleeping bag. You should be really warm anyway. So if you're a bit scared about the cold, don't be, we can cover that. Big 50, I think this is a 70 litre dry sack, again from Osprey. Just fab. Right, what else do I carry on here? Right. So I've got a pair of completely waterproof gloves. Sorry, these are windproof gloves. Again, made by sealskin. And I just keep them clipped to a carabiner and just walk with them. Last thing on safety that I also carry is a tourniquet. So again, it's on my left hand shoulder strap. Easily comes off with Velcro. And it will help with those major accidents, major bleeds. Hopefully I've never used, well, I've never used one of these as a civvy. Hopefully I never have to, but it's part about being prepared when you do a lot of solo walking like I do, or I'm walking with other people. Anything can happen. I would prefer to have something that I can use in case the worst happens. There we go. Talked about maps. I have a map case if I have a paper map. This is a waterproof map, so it's absolutely fine in the rain. This map is by local area, so it's the Wye Valley and the Forest of Dean. So where I live around Chepstow is on here as well. And that goes into the back panel. I don't need the map all the time in my local area. And what I tend to do before I go on a walk is I look at the map and I will memorise the route. So it's up here, but I will use the map quite regularly. If you want a little bit of map reading lessons as we're going along, just to give you a little bit of confidence in self-reliance, that's absolutely fine. There's going to be no extra charge from that. Let me know beforehand. I'll be able to bring an extra compass along. We can do some of that basic work as well. The last thing that I carry, and this is a fantastic comfort set, is what's known as an ass pad, i.e. you sit on it. They're absolutely fabulous. Ultra lightweight, folds out. That's the end of the video, showing you what I carry. There's one or two other things depending on what we're going to be doing. If we're going to be camping overnight, I may think about where we're going to camp, what are we going to do. If it's safe to start an open fire, I may take a fire lighting kit, I may take a small knife to be able to whittle some of the wood, etc. that we'll need. We're not going to have a roaring campfire. It will be just enough to boil your water and that's it. We're not going to sit around it singing songs. If you have any questions, please leave them below. I'd love to hear from you and look forward to seeing you on my coaching and walking and my coaching camping sessions. I'm Andrew, dreaming of the outdoors.